All right, so I have something that I think is relevant to this community, but isn't necessarily, FPS related. But SMITE 2 just got announced yesterday, and it's already causing quite the stir in their community. If you were to take what Twitter is saying literally, the game is already dead on arrival. So if you're not familiar with SMITE, it's a third-person MOBA with a ton of different gods that you play as. I played it a little bit back in the day, and I actually enjoyed it, but there were just so many other games that I was playing at the time, I just never really invested a bunch of time into it. But the big controversy is that the vast majority of the skins that you purchased or earned in SMITE 1 aren't being moved over to SMITE 2. Now, SMITE 1, initially released in 2014, was made on Unreal Engine 3. SMITE 2, which is set to go into alpha testing, I think in the summer of this year, was built from the ground up on Unreal Engine 5. On the frequently asked questions part of their website, the developers say that SMITE 2 is a multi-generational leap from SMITE 1, from UE3 to UE5. That means we have to completely rework or recreate every piece of content for it to function in SMITE 2. There are currently over 1,600 skins in SMITE, excluding mastery skins. To just port every skin to SMITE 2 would take about 246 person-years of work, and we couldn't do both that and make SMITE 2 as amazing as we knew it could be if we focused on starting anew. So to make this transition a little better, SMITE is offering what they're calling legacy gems, which I'll also quote from the facts section. I want to make sure I get all of this right. For every gem that you've ever spent in SMITE 1, free or purchased, you'll receive a legacy gem in SMITE 2. Legacy gems can be used to pay for 50% of the price of most in-game purchases in SMITE 2. So things like skins, battle passes, and events in SMITE 2 will be half off until you spend all of your legacy gems. And if you purchase a SMITE Founders Pack, your legacy gems will be doubled. As SMITE 2's currency is changing slightly from SMITE, this ensures that you'll have the equivalent purchasing power. So you basically get a 50% discount on anything moving forward based on how much you spent in the last title, meaning every skin that you want to buy in SMITE 2 will have a 50% discount. You still have to put more money into it, and this is what people are having a big problem with. Because your skins aren't transferring, people are freaking the fuck out, using comparisons to Overwatch and CS2 as reasons as to why all of the skins that they paid for and the thousands of dollars spent over the last 10 years should be honored and moved forward into the new title. Their Twitter account has been spammed under every single post from gamers angry that their skins aren't being moved up 2 engine generations. This gamer here says, "All I read is spend more money, we don't care about your old skins, LOL." The fact that we're supposed to just give up hundreds, if not thousands of dollars of skins, plus to be expected to keep paying for more stuff in SMITE 2 is genuinely delusional. You ain't making more money from me when you won't respect my money. This gamer here, Big Dick Deviant, says 50% discount isn't enough for the thousands of dollars we spent on this game. Real WRU says, "You guys are criminals. I want a refund for all the skins that I have purchased." And Dexterol here says, "Honestly, I don't think I'm going to play SMITE 2. I have over 1,300 skins, spent thousands. If they can't even port the skins over, there's no point. They're not even giving you the gems to buy them back. They're basically giving you legacy gems to buy a skin for 50% off." This user here just wants them to port all of the old models into Unreal Engine 5 without changing the graphics. The game will still function the same. You'll just see lower quality skins from UE3 and the new UE5 skins can coexist. Tell me you have zero clue about anything you're talking about. But I'm really curious as to what you guys think, because I'm kind of sitting here and like, I can definitely understand the frustrations from gamers. Like, you spent a bunch of money on this game, a new one's coming out, and like all your skins like no longer transfer over. Yeah, that sucks. But like, duh, like, is this not what we've been talking about for the last like 10 years on this channel? Microtransactions are a money sink. Like, you don't buy microtransactions if you're not okay with just losing them when the next games come out. Now, I know a lot of people are making comparisons to Overwatch. Overwatch was literally regarded as like a 1.5. It was like people were pissed that it basically felt like a DLC, right? The engine difference there is is like negligible. The game is essentially running on the exact same engine. This is the first year that Modern Warfare allowed you to bring your skins forward, which was a cool thing, but Modern Warfare 3 has been destroyed in the online community for being a DLC and being not that much of an engine upgrade. So while they brought the skins over, the upgrade to it was negligible. This is taking models and skins and UVs and all of that from Unreal Engine 3, an engine that came out, what, 15 years ago? Upgrading to Unreal Engine 5, which I know would be a lot of work. On top of the fact that the game is now being built from scratch on Unreal Engine 5, it would be a fuckload of work to be able to make this happen. But the community is up in arms. So while I'm sitting here, like, I understand the frustration from gamers, but I also think, like, if you spent thousands of dollars in microtransactions in a video game, that's kind of on you, right? But like, I'm all for pro-consumer practices, but this just feels a little strange to me that people who bought skins back in 2015 expect those skins to be ported over to a new game. Even if you bought skins last year, or hell, even last week, you can still use them in SMITE 1. You can still play them. You weren't scammed, but the calls that, like, SMITE are criminals for working and rebuilding the game on a new engine and providing a free experience on a new engine, a sequel to bring new life to the game, and they are met with just an overwhelming amount of negativity because people who spent money and spent potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars on skins aren't going to have them in a sequel when they didn't even know a sequel existed at the time of purchase. I'm having a tough time defending the gamers here, but it's weird because on top of just seeing random gamer faces bitch about this online, I'm also seeing guys that I respect in the space, guys like Kira, talk about, you know, fuck this company, SMITE about to make crypto bros feel vindicated. I don't know if that commentary even works either, because if all the SMITE skins were NFTs, they still wouldn't work in the new game because you'd have to still do that work to make them function on the models regardless. Like this, I don't think this makes crypto bros feel vindicated. I'm also just wondering, like, why people are as outraged as they are. Like, you bought skins in a game that still exists. A new game is coming out and you just expect them to put all that work into transferring all of those skins over. That hasn't been the standard for a long time. Like, you can look at Overwatch 2 and Modern Warfare 3 and hell, even CS2. Yeah, they've done it. FIFA every year doesn't take anything that you purchase over. Like, that's not the standard. We've known this for years. And the thing is games like FIFA and fucking Call of Duty and Madden, they're a yearly release. SMITE has been going on for 10 years. So you expect 10 years of work on skins to be ported over to the new game. It feels entitled. And usually when I have these conversations, I'm on the fucking side of the gamer, because a lot of these companies are scummy companies. They're greedy companies. But I'm trying to figure out where SMITE went wrong here. Like, maybe they didn't need to make a sequel, but like, the way I see it is maybe they realized that, like, you know, 10-year-old code, potentially longer, on Unreal Engine 3 is just not going to hold up for what they want to do. They make a new game from scratch. They also offer you 50% discounts because you purchased stuff before. I'm trying to figure out where their greed is coming from. A game that they supported, again, it's a free game for 10 years. Yeah, they have microtransactions for sure, but those microtransactions are all just cosmetic skins. And like, if you feel like you've been robbed of your thousands of dollars that you spent, even though you're using the skins in the game right now, like, I don't really get it. If SMITE 2 just like never existed and SMITE dropped an update that just removed your skins, like, yeah, you'd have a problem. But this is a sequel. Like, you bought skins for SMITE 1, a game that's been in development and like supported for 10 years. Like, to me, it would be like if I bought a skin in Rainbow Six Siege for $1. And all of a sudden Rainbow Six Siege 2 gets announced 3 years from now, and I just expect all of those skins to transfer over. Like, no, this is the standard. This is what we've been talking about for years. This is why microtransactions and buying microtransactions is a waste of money. I guess I'm just like, yeah, it sucks, but like also you knew the assignment here. You know what the fuck this is. For me, it feels like I'm just seeing a lot of entitlement online and just a lot of just like overwhelming negativity about this game release. And even though I have no skin in the game, as like I'm not a SMITE player, I don't play it consistently, I'm just curious as to why there's such outrage here when the standard in the gaming industry is that you release a game every year and your skins from last year don't transfer. Why is this game getting so much heat when they have supported it for 10 years? It just feels strange to me. And maybe that 10 year is like that sunken cost, like you realize how much you've spent on it, and like it just sucks that shit, like, did you think the game was gonna be around forever? Like, what would happen if SMITE, instead of announcing a sequel, just announced that they were shutting down? Would people be asking for refunds? Would people, like, I don't know. It's a weird conversation. But now I'm curious to see if the community is actually going to support it come launch, or if they're just going to stay on SMITE 1 and just let the sequel die. I don't know. It's a weird conversation, and I feel like this is one of those times where I'm not on the side of the gamer, and like I wish I was. I wish I could sit here and be like, no, we gotta talk about this. This company's doing this. I don't know, man. I feel like they did everything as right as they could, outside of spending all of that time and resources porting all of your skins over, which if I was in their position, I don't think I would do either. Anyways, let me know what you guys think down below. This is a conversation that has been stirred up all over my timeline, so I wanted to talk about it because, hey, there's nothing going on in the FPS space right now. I'm still playing games like the Finals and Rainbow Six and Call of Duty, but I'm not really a gameplay channel, so I don't put just like raw gameplays up and talk over it and stuff like that. And there's really nothing else I want to talk about in the FPS space until we hear news about games like Gray Zone or Pioneer or whatever. So I saw this, I was like, you know what? Microtransactions have been a staple discussion in this community for a while, and I'm curious to know what my community thinks. My name is BigFry. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you on the next one.